I have a question. Have you grown tired of the day-to-day monotony of human life? Do you crave the ability to crack open people's skulls with your bare hands? Or do you just want an excuse to beat the shit out of your neighbor Timmy for stealing your limited edition 2000 Millennium Princess Barbie toy, which currently retails for $44,000? Well, today in Total Warhammer 3, we're going to be solving all of these problems by completely destroying every human faction in the game, those being the Empire, Bretonnia, Kislev, Cathay, and any other human faction that I find along the way. The lord that I have chosen for this task is Arbaal the Undefeated, because like me, he has a burning hatred for literally everyone and will not think twice about spin-kicking someone into the ethereal plane, which makes him perfect for this challenge. I start the campaign and immediately run axe first into the first living things that I see, which happen to be a group of morbidly obese lobotomy patients, so we're going to go put them out of their misery. Getting into the battle, you may notice that because I'm a Khorne faction, my army has no range units, so most battles will consist of moving my troops forward and sitting back and watching the skull-fucking fest commence. Sending our armies forward, we engage the masses of flesh and end up having our army fighting theirs in a blob in the middle of the field. I send Arbaal to go beat the shit out of their commander, and soon the battle is won with only 3 losses. Damn, we fucked the shit out of them. Since I'm playing a Khorne faction, when I have to choose what to do with the settlements I beat in battle, most of the time I'll be raising them in order to get skulls for our skull collection. As long as we have one claimed territory in the province, the game will claim all the raised territory for me over the turns. Another incredible, maybe even overpowered detail about Arbald's campaign is that his encamp stance has the exact same movement range as his normal stance, so after every battle we can encamp to replenish health. But even more than that, Arbaal decreases the global recruitment time of troops in his army, so we can kill someone, set up a tent on their corpses, and create a whole army over the turn. Now, our skull collection. What exactly do we do with these skulls that we collect? Well, we can use them in the Skull Throne. It's a tower of powerful buffs and campaign effects that will help us to destroy our enemies. We're going to use this one, Devotion's Tithe, in order to get more money from killing people. And as a man who is fueled by blood money, this is pretty awesome. Sending Arbaal into Karak Dum, we have to fight the first siege battle of the campaign. And as anyone who plays Warhammer knows, siege battles are most similar to having your balls tickled by Freddy Krueger. When setting up my army, just like the last battle, we're going to line up all of our soldiers and walk them in a straight line at the enemy, sending some of my troops to pull 20 ladders out of their ass and climb the wall to fight the Noblars that are currently stationed up there. After breaking through the gate, it's kind of difficult to move my troops into the settlement because the gateway is being blocked by the ogre's pure mass. However, since my troops on the wall were fighting Noblars, which are basically anorexic children wielding kitchen utensils, they were completely annihilated almost immediately. So I'll be able to send my troops down the wall and around the ogres. Now we get to sit here and watch as Arbaal chops the ogre lord in half. Beautiful. We are again going to raise the settlement, and soon we will own the whole province. After finishing off the leftover ogres in the area, it is time to start using Arbaal's unique mechanic called the Challengers of Khorne, where we use Khorne favor that we gained from winning battles to teleport to whatever army shown on the map and beat the shit out of them and get more Khorne favor, gold, and skulls. So this is going to be pretty much how I'm going to kill all of the human factions. I will wait till I have a battle with a human faction or one near a human faction, teleport there, kill everyone, and move on to the next area. For our first battle, we will be going to kill Grom the Paunch, the fattest goblin on the planet. The reason we have chose him is because he happens to be near some human factions, those human factions being Bretonnia. You know. The French. So I've been called upon by God to cleanse the area of the French menace. Getting into the battle, I realized I had French reinforcements because Grom was next to one of their settlements when I appeared out of nowhere to rip his spine out. And if I'm going to be killing the French anyway, I'm just going to sit and watch as Grom annihilates the French peasants who believed I was here to help them. As the French armies came onto the field, Grom's army engaged them and sent a few troops one by one into my army, allowing me to slowly absorb them one by one with no resistance. Eventually, the entire French army was destroyed, and Grom sent the remaining troops to fight my entire army that was pretty much undamaged. The battle was not much of a contest at all. The only annoying part was Grom running back and forth, running over my troops, while Arbaal chased him down on foot. However, eventually we were able to hold him in a sea of Chaos Warriors, and the battle was over not long after. I immediately destroyed the French settlement that we were fighting next to and summoned a Bloodhost army. A Bloodhost army is an entire free army that I can summon after raising a settlement, and I can use them to assist me in destroying the entire area. Now I'm ready to completely destroy the surrounding French settlements and strike them down as the first faction off the list. However, after moving my armies around, I realized that all the French in the area were already completely destroyed by Grom and the vampires to the north. There was still one Bretonnia faction left all the way to the north, but I decided that I would leave and come back to kill them another day. I then teleported Arbaal's army to Nagorond in order to fight Mother Ostankia, the first Kislev faction I will be cleansing from the planet. In our first battle, I was able to take a Pyrrhic victory with no losses on her main army and the garrison assisting it. I then moved through her territory quite easily and completely wiped out her faction with no resistance. After that, I moved Arbaal to the Old World, beginning my very, very long war on the Empire. I started by going through destroying some minor Empire factions in order to get some Bloodhost armies, and soon it was time to declare war on the big man himself, Karl Franz. The war kicked off pretty bad for Karl, getting caught by Arbaal and a Bloodhost army in a decisive victory auto-resolve. That did not stop Karl, however, sending his many other armies to reclaim ruins, making it harder for me to completely kill off his faction. I sent my Bloodhost armies to destroy the settlements that Karl had taken over to the north, while Arbaal went south to get rid of Karl's main settlements. Now, as I was walking around the Old World, minding my own business, killing innocents and whatnot, normal stuff, I noticed a strange circle on the campaign map. The Nemesis Crown? Untold evil is unleashed upon the world? I think I gotta put that shit on. Using my new crown of pure drip, I moved to fight Karl Franz, who had rebuilt his army and came to face me one last time. I attacked him with a Bloodhost army and had Arbaal coming in as reinforcements because I wanted to test the might of my completely free army versus John Warhammer himself. And I watched as my level 1 lord beat the absolute shit out of Karl Franz. I will admit, Karl and his army were damaged getting to this fight, but still to be the king of the empire and die instantly to a single demon who was born yesterday has to be a pretty hard hit to morale. I won the battle pretty easily soon after, probably because Karl's soldiers couldn't handle Skull Throne supremacy. Not much else happened during the War with the Empire. The only interesting things that occurred were I created a second army to fight the Kislev factions that were by my main province, and when I was fighting one of the battles, I was a little worried and didn't know if I was going to win the fight until the AI put their strongest unit, a Regiment of Renown, on the one wall I was hitting with my cannons, and it killed them instantly when the wall fell. So I was pretty happy about that one. Heinrich Kemmler decided to declare war on me and take settlements that I don't care about. What did I do in response to this? Well... Bang, 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 bang! Bang, 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 bang! No, Heinrich, you brought this on yourself. Bang, bang, bang! I systematically destroyed his entire faction. In 2 turns. Also, during that time, I did Arbald's quest battle, and I would talk about it, however, I was incredibly overleveled for the battle, so it wasn't very interesting, and I immediately swapped out the weapon I got for a chainsword, so there's no real point in showing much of it. My next devious scheme was to finish off the Kislev factions that my second army has been fighting this whole time, so I sent Arbaal to go absolutely destroy them, and within a few turns and a few pretty easy battles, it was over. Now, normally I would show the Faction Destroyed banner in the corner, however, the Ice Court is still somehow alive somewhere, If I look at my diplomacy tab, it shows them being alive but with 0 settlements. So I'm just gonna let them rot and eventually fade into nothingness. Anyway, would you look at this? Boris Ursus on my teleport map. Hello, Boris. Goodbye, Boris. I then sent Arbaal to begin his campaign in North Africa to take out Rapance and Volkmar the Grim. Now, something I've neglected to mention this whole time is the debuffs on the Nemesis Crown. You see, the Nemesis Crown makes Arbaal incredibly powerful, giving him some insane buffs and really helping him out in all of the fights I've had so far. However, it also gives his army minus 30% army replenishment, so every battle, even when I encamp, my army doesn't replenish. Now, I could solve this by releasing the Nemesis Crown, saving the world from its evil. However, Arbaal has 3.5k weapon strength, as well as some of the most insane stats I have ever seen. So what did I do to remedy this problem? Well, I just disbanded my entire army and continued the rest of the campaign with just Arbaal, and a single legendary hero that I found that's actually pretty good. At one point, I did recruit some Slaughter Brutes and use them against Volkmar the Grim. I wanted to test them out since they're a new unit for the Khorne faction, so in the battle I sent them forward with Arbaal, and honestly, I'm not that impressed. They kinda didn't do much. Their damage was pretty negligible, they died very fast. Every single one that I recruited for this battle died. I thought maybe I was doing something wrong, so I recruited more going to the next few fights, but they continued to disappoint me in all of the battles, so I just kind of ended up using just Arbaal anyway, and they didn't last long in my army composition, I'll tell you that. Now this is it, Arbaal's final mission. The destruction of Grand Cathay. Now normally this probably wouldn't take that long, but since my army is just 2 guys, the auto-resolve does not like me very much. Like, you're telling me the most powerful being on the planet will have a crushing defeat against an LA tent city? Anyway, for the final part of this, I'm very tired, and you don't want to watch me explain myself destroying 50 settlements, so I will just make a montage of the final moments of this campaign. Hit it, little toast. And there you have it. Every human faction, dead. If I scroll through my diplomacy tab, you can see there are no human factions left in the game. I have destroyed them all. I want to thank you for watching the video. It took me a long time to make. If you enjoyed it at all, please consider liking and maybe even subscribing. And finally, have a respectable day.